Right now, we are witnessing one of the biggest shakeups to the whole idea of a career in 100 years. And you know who's leading the charge? The youngest generation in the workforce. They're not just looking for a new job. Nope, they're designing a completely new way to live and work. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of this entire shift. This isn't about being lazy or rejecting hard work. It's about rejecting a life that only really starts after you clock out on Friday. This feeling, this is what's driving a massive economic change. And look, don't mistake this for just some passing trend or a temporary phase because of the economy. What we're seeing is a deep structural break from the past. You know that old predictable script, go to school, get a good job, climb the ladder for 40 years? Well, that script is being completely torn up and rewritten. And the scale of this is just staggering. Over 70 million Americans, that's more than a third of the entire US workforce, are now freelancing in some way. So yeah, this is not some tiny niche movement anymore. It is rapidly becoming the new mainstream. You know that old metaphor of climbing the corporate ladder? It just doesn't really work anymore. Instead, Gen Z is building what a lot of experts are calling a career lattice. It's this flexible, interconnected web of projects, different clients, and skills. In this new world, security isn't about loyalty to one company. It's all about the agility and the diversity of your own personal portfolio. Okay, so the big question is why? What's really driving this mass exodus from the traditional 9 to 5? Well, the data points to a few really powerful reasons that are all connected. First up, and this one is huge, flexibility. A massive 71% of Gen Z workers say that having a flexible schedule is their absolute number one priority when they're looking for work. We're not talking about a nice-to-have perk here. For them, it is a non-negotiable demand for control over their own time and really their own life. Second, there is a giant trust issue. Think about it. They've watched their parents and older siblings go through wave after wave of layoffs, so it's no surprise that 58% of Gen Z just flat out don't believe companies are loyal to their employees. That old social contract, you give us loyalty, we'll give you security, to them, that feels completely broken. And this is where it gets really counterintuitive, because that lack of trust completely flips the script on risk. Over half of Gen Z now actually believe that a traditional job with a single employer is riskier than freelancing. And their logic is pretty sound. Why would you put all your eggs in one basket? Diversifying your income, that's the new security. So, all of these forces are coming together to create this new model. We've been throwing around the term portfolio career, but let's break down what that actually looks like day to day. At its very core, it's about treating your career like you would an investment portfolio, right? You diversify to spread out the risk and find the best opportunities for growth. So instead of one single salary, you're building multiple streams of income from lots of different sources. And just to be clear, we're not just talking about odd jobs here. Gen Z is leveraging some serious, high-value digital skills. Just look at these median hourly rates. Web and app development can pull in up to $120 an hour. These are legitimate, high-paying careers, all built on specialized expertise. And check this out, because this number really shows you the financial reality. For Gen Zers who have these kinds of side projects, that work now makes up 57% of their total income. Let that sink in for a second. What we used to call a side hustle is now their main hustle. It's not supplemental anymore. It's central to their finances. But of course, it's not all a walk in the park. This new world of work, it comes with some serious challenges. There's a big trade-off you make when you leave that traditional 9 to 5 structure behind. So it's really important we look at both sides of the coin here. So on the one hand, the freedom is incredible. You have total control over your schedule, you can work from anywhere, and you get to pick projects that actually mean something to you. But on the other hand, you suddenly become your own HR department. You're the one on the hook for health insurance, saving for retirement, and managing the stress of an income that can go up and down. This brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How do you get all that amazing freedom of being your own boss without giving up the safety net that comes with a traditional job? Is it even possible to bridge that gap? Well, the answer might be in a really powerful idea that's starting to change everything. Let me introduce you to portable benefits. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's revolutionary. What if your benefits, your health insurance, your retirement, weren't tied to your job, but were tied to you? They'd follow you from project to project, from client to client, creating a personalized safety net that you actually own and control.
So here's how it works. Every time you get paid, each client contributes a tiny percentage into a special benefits account for you. A separate company, a third-party platform, manages that money. But here's the crucial part. It's yours. The benefits stay with you, no matter who you're working for, creating a stable foundation for a really flexible career.
And this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. This is happening as we speak. This whole shift toward flexible work has some serious momentum, and it's already reshaping the entire job market. So let's take a quick look at what's coming next.
This right here, this is the tipping point. Just a few years ago, in 2022, freelancers were about 36% of the workforce. But look at the projection for 2027. That's just around the corner. They're expected to cross the 50% mark. That's the moment when independent work stops being the alternative and officially becomes the new norm.
And as this happens, the whole ecosystem that supports freelancers is going to get way more sophisticated. Think about it. AI will start handling all the boring admin work, making it way easier to be your own boss. Portable benefits will become standard, probably backed by new laws, and the platforms we use now will become full-on financial hubs built for independent workers. So it all comes down to this. The old idea of a career being a place you go to every single day, that's fading away fast. In its place is a new reality. A career is a living, breathing portfolio of your skills, your projects, and your experiences that you have to actively build and manage. The only question left is, how are you building yours?